Can you give us an update on the injured guys? We kind of briefly spoke on some, but can you go a little bit more detail on the injury report from yesterday?
Yeah, a couple headlines. First of all, the most notable is who's not on the injury report. That's Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith, past couple of weeks or so, has, for the most part, been relegated to walkthroughs and mock games only. And in the last two games since his return from that neck stinger, he's looked like prime Tyron Smith. Like you call him still, Tron. Tron is back. To the point where the Cowboys haven't even put him on the injury report. So if that continues, knock on wood, because this is Thursday, right?
Yeah.
This is Terror Thursday in Dallas. So as long as there are no setbacks or no additional things that pop up with Tyron Smith, he will actually be 100% healthy going into this matchup with the Panthers, and that's just fantastic news. Peyton Hendershot, he returned to practice on yesterday, and his 21-day practice window has opened from IR. For those that don't understand, he's now allowed to fully practice with the team. He was a full participant effective yesterday, but the Cowboys have a decision to make if they push that 21 days out. So he can practice for the next 21 days. Then if he's good enough to go, he has to be added to the active roster. If he's not good enough to go, he has to be put on season-ending injured reserve. So the fact that he was a full participant yesterday, that's good news as far as him training to be back fairly quickly. I mean, I wonder if he'll be back for the Panthers game. We'll see how this week goes. If so, then how does that, work out with like Sean McEwen, who might go back to the practice squad? We'll see. Junior Fehoko, knee injury, full participant. Rico Dowdle popped up on the injury report. Ankle injury, but full participant. No concerns there. Jordan Lewis, neck, full participant. Osa, hamstring from last week, still dealing with it, but he's not limited anymore. He's back to full. Jalen Tolbert has a knee injury from Sunday, full participant. And Kevontae Turpin, another headliner. He missed last week's game against the Giants because of that shoulder/rib situation. He's a full participant as well. So this will all ramp up on Thursday, though, because today is going to be the full practice for everybody. So keep an eye on the injury report at the end of today. But as it stands, it's looking like great news for everyone, unfortunately, except for Leighton Vander Esch.
Yeah, that's the one, man. And I caught a couple of the interviews yesterday, and you can kind of tell it was sombering news to the players. And like I was saying in the opening here, I don't think it was just about on the field. I think they are understanding what this injury could mean, period, for Leighton Vander Esch. You want to go in a little bit more detail on how everybody's feeling down there in the Star about Leighton potentially being out, or not potentially, out for the rest of the season?
Yeah, it's a somber mood. It's a somber conversation to have with any of the players. I mean, even a guy like Rashaan Evans, who just arrived not a month ago, the impact that LVE has had on him already has him kind of lamenting the loss as well, because he understands just what type of competitor Leighton Vander Esch is, and that permeates throughout the locker room. Talk about guys like Damone Clark, who Leighton Vander Esch took under his wing when Damone had the spinal fusion surgery in his neck. So a similar injury that almost turned Damone's rookie season to a redshirt season. Who was the first one to reach out to him after the pick was made in April? It was Leighton Vander Esch. Who was the one who was inviting Damone to his house to kind of watch film and get the rookie acclimated? It was Leighton Vander Esch. So those types of things, helping Marquise Bell transition to linebacker. I mean, for as many roses, rightfully so, as we give Dan Quinn and the coaching staff and the linebackers coach, Leighton Vander Esch has been, almost as much as the linebackers coach as well. So he's a mentor off the field, in the locker room, and of course we know what he was doing on the field. And despite the narratives to the contrary, Leighton Vander Esch was absolutely one of the best players for the Cowboys defense. And if not for Marquise Bell excelling, the Cowboys would figure out real fast just how valuable he was. Hell, they found out last December when he was out for 2 or 3 games, and that run defense kind of took a dive without Leighton Vander Esch and Jonathan Hankins. So, but now the question becomes, does Vander Esch ever suit up again in the NFL? So that's a decision that he's going to have to make, what's, one that's best for him and his family. But I will say absolutely it is and has been and will continue to be a pleasure to be around this guy. He stays in the locker room still, coaching up guys. And, I just want him to do the right thing. This is not his first or second or third or even, I think it's his 4th issue with his neck. So at a certain point, you just got to do the right thing, man. So, yeah, I'm hinting at what I'm hinting at, but he's a grown man. He's going to have to make that decision. But do the right thing, brother.
Do the right thing like Spike. Hey, Rashaan Evans, he got called up for the 3rd time, and it's clear, right, that he's going to be a part of this team. And I just was thinking about how are they going to make that decision happen? They're going to have to cut somebody, correct?
Yeah, so the practice squad rules have been updated a little bit. Not so long ago, it was once the player maxed out at 3, you had to make a decision to either carry them on the active roster and then release somebody as a corresponding move if you didn't have that spot vacant, or you would have to waive them, subject them to waivers after the trade deadline, which is where everybody, even the vested veterans, are subjected to waiver claim and then hope that they clear and then get them back on the practice squad. But not the case anymore. So he's maxed out at 3, so he's going to be carried on the practice squad going forward. The clock doesn't reset again until the playoffs for that 3-time elevation. So if they want him to play another game this regular season, they got to sign him to the active roster. Corresponding move, that's where it gets kind of not dicey, but the question is, who would that be? And I look at a guy like Tyrus Wheat. You are log jammed on that defensive line, and at the time Tyrus Wheat was signed to the active roster, it made sense, but now it makes more sense to have Rashaan Evans there, knowing that you're not going to have Leighton Vander Esch returning, and you need that linebacker depth. You absolutely need it. So I think Tyrus Wheat is a guy to keep an eye on. Maybe Noah Igbenogany, but I think the Cowboys need him for veteran depth at cornerback. So Wheat would make more sense to me. But, of course, if he's waived and clears waivers, they'd love to have him back on the practice squad. But we'll see what that move is, and we'll see how soon they make it as far as Evans is concerned.
That is the Injury Spotlight presented by OSMI. OSMI provides arthroscopic and robotic-assisted orthopedic surgery, foot and ankle surgery, sports medicine, physical therapy, and a ton more. Their team of orthopedic specialists have offices in Fort Worth, Decatur, and Mansfield to provide state-of-the-art orthopedic care to the North Texas area. When it comes to medical care, you and your loved ones deserve the best possible experience. So schedule your hassle-free appointment today at osmifw.com.